Hi, I'm Dina.
And I'm Beth.
And we're from ITG. And we're here to talk about a claims project that the two of us did a couple of weeks ago in the home care category. Now, claims projects fit into our ITG EXCITE service, which is everything communications, positioning, anything that's about getting consumers excited about your product or service. So Beth, let's kick it off. Tell me a little bit about what we did that was a little bit special before the project even started.
Okay, so before the project started, we assembled the Creative Consumers Associates on Zoom with the client team, and the R&D team presented to the creative consumers a lot of information around the science behind the technology. And this was really interesting because it's the kind of thing that you wouldn't normally tell the average consumer, but our Creative Consumers Associates really love hearing this. And then they sort of translate it into language that a regular consumer would find interesting and compelling. They ask lots of questions and use that as part of their homework assignment. And so what else did they do with their homework assignment?
So they did a few things as part of their homework assignment, but one other thing that I think is particularly helpful is they went to the store where they normally shop and they gathered inspiration both in the category aisle and outside of the category aisle in the form of photographs and also language and different things that stood out to them. So we were able to have a really extensive conversation on the project day with the client team about what the consumers found interesting and what really jumped out at them while looking at the pictures that they took on a big screen in the front of the room.
Yep.
So speaking about the front of the room, on the day where we got together with the Creative Consumers Associates and the client team to co-create claims, where did we have it? What was fun and amazing about our venue?
So we picked a venue that was really cool. It was almost like a funplex for adults. It had a really big room that we were able to use when we were together as a group, and then a whole bunch of really cool nooks and crannies and sofas and places that people could do breakouts in. They had bowling, they had bocce, and then they had this whole outdoor patio area. And actually we wound up using it a couple of times, but Dina, you remember the really cool thing that happened.
Yeah, as part of the Creative Consumers homework assignment, we asked them to write poetry or prose, and they all did an amazing job. And there was this space outside that kind of was like a stage. There were multiple levels. So we all gathered around and the CCs got up on this ledge and really went for it performance-wise, a few of them. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, and it was really cool because they talked from two perspectives, like the really great things that could happen when working in the category and the really horrible things that could happen. So the clients got a lot of really great insight to bounce off of.
We did. And speaking of insights and inspiration, we had a few different opportunity spaces or dig sites, and we were able to generate a lot of claims. So Beth, talk a little bit about numbers.
Yeah. So we had 4 dig sites that we focused in on. And the idea there is to have lots of different angles to go after so that you come up with a wide variety of claims. And so for each of the dig sites, we did different creative exercises that were related to the dig sites. Sometimes we worked in small groups and sometimes we worked as a big group. But throughout the day, we wound up generating 1,482 ideas. A lot of those were claims. I know, a lot, right? Some of those were from the homework assignment. And then the client team actually wound up generating a lot of ideas when they were listening to the creative consumers share their homework assignment. And then for each of the dig sites, we generated several hundred ideas. So yeah, at the end of the day, we had a lot of stuff. And then what did we do with that to give it to the client?
Well, I know 1,400 and some sounds overwhelming, but in our ideation platform, we had our clients vote on all the ideas, which only took them a couple of hours, even though it was a lot. And we also had them identify a handful, we call this championing, of claims that they felt pretty strongly about. So Beth, you and I spent some time the next day organizing this material in an Excel document, so easy to sort. And so within the Excel document, they were able to see by dig site, the claims that rose to the top, how many votes they got, how many people championed them, And then after we met with the client team that next day and reviewed everything, you and I did some subsequent cleaning up, and we added a few more in based on their direction, and also organized them a bit more topically by type within the buckets. So really easy to use Excel document as the final output for them to be able to take this work stream forward and get these claims tested. And then, Beth, given all of this that we did, what was your sense about how our client team felt after this was all said and done?
Well, they were super excited. They were really excited because they couldn't believe how many ideas they came up with, especially because a couple of the dig sites, they weren't sure how much we were going to actually get. And we assured them that we would, try really hard and get a bunch of stuff, and we did. Also, I think they were really excited with the wide variety of claims that we wound up coming up with, because we use something, we have a couple of tools that we use to help client teams and creative consumers think about different types of claims, so that you're not just coming up with all claims that have numbers or all claims that are like cute, pithy statements. And so this was important to the client team to make sure that we had a nice variety. And I think they were really, really thrilled with that. No stone was unturned.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for reliving this. I loved working this project with you, and can't wait to do it again.
Same here. Thanks, Dina.